can they attend their gay friend's marriage? If you don't support that kind of lifestyle as a Christian, if you believe that kind of lifestyle is wrong, should not be practiced, should you go and do that? I would assume not. If you want to show your support, or you want to, let me not say support, right? Because as Christians, I don't believe justifiably we can support that practice under any circumstance. So not necessarily support, right? If you want to show love, right, attending the wedding isn't necessarily how you would necessarily show love. Showing love can be manifest in different ways. So you can love someone but still not necessarily engage or support certain activities that they ultimately do. That's the key divide here. Imagine, for example, you've got these two married people, right? They're both married and they basically start committing adultery. So two married people, a man from one marriage and a woman from another marriage, they start committing adultery. And they say, look, they're going to get married and you're friends with both of them. Look, come and be a witness, come and partake in this marriage ceremony. This is an adulterous marriage ceremony, right? Would you go to that? Should you go to that? I would say no, right? Because it's something which the Bible is clearly against, and it's not necessarily like a one-off thing per se. This is a ongoing practice of behavior. That's where I would think it would be different to certain things. People sin one-off, like do one-off sins, etc. But when it becomes active and more like active, it becomes different ultimately. That's what I'd say in regards to that. I want to touch on this because I think it's a good teaching moment, right? To just kind of unpack more of what I said. Because Ivan says, if you have gay friends, that's all he needs to know to stay away from you. Years ago, I would kind of take the same approach. And the reason I won't necessarily take that same kind of approach now is because people use the word friend in different ways, right? People say friend and they don't necessarily mean like, oh yeah, this is someone I spend like my weekends with and all these different kind of things. There's a difference between a friend and an acquaintance and an associate and different things. If we always stay away from people who are living that kind of lifestyle, like how do they see the love of Christ, right? That's one thing to consider. Being in a homosexual lifestyle isn't the only ongoing sinful act we see in the Bible, right? We've got adulterers, right? We've got liars, compulsive liars. We've got different people that do different things. And in those different scenarios, we have to be mindful and say, look, you know what? Like, these are all ongoing things. It talks about in Corinthians, right? A homosexual act is one of those things where the believers renounced those things. I won't necessarily stay away from you. Christ, like, and this is a good example, right? Christ used different things to like bring about his like end objective. So, for example, Christ comes along, right? And what does he do? He goes and has meals with publicans. He has meals with sinners. And you've got Pharisees and religious leaders saying, why is he taking company with these sinners? Like, it don't make any sense. And Christ is like, look, I've come for the people that need healing, right? Yes, there's a time to retreat and separate, right? That would, in this kind of example, I would think would be like the marriage, the ceremony, right? In that particular scenario, I would like to think I would refrain from that particular activity. But on a day-to-day, right, if I have the opportunity to minister, if I have the opportunity to have engagement and have conversations, then those are the times you have conversations. But you're not necessarily going to have those conversations if you've just shunned the person and you never want to basically have a conversation with them, right? In that sense, we'd never be able to, or never have conversations with people who are like deep in sin and be trying to pull them out of the fire.